guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to film a tutorial that is like probably my most requested from clients. I recently did a lesson a few weeks ago of just like my everyday makeup, like what's the most simple everyday makeup that I could pack, bring with me on vacation, like the most minimal amounts of stuff. And so that's what she wanted to learn, and we did a lesson on it, and I was like, wow, what a great thing to do a video on for you guys. It is supposed to be minimal. Like if I'm going to New York for the week, this is what I'll bring with me and pack. Nice, such a simple, like dewy, glowy, everyday look. Who doesn't want that? So if you want to see how I got this under 7-minute look, then please keep watching. Hi guys. So I've already filled in my brows. I like to take that part out of my day-to-day routine because I tend to spend a lot of time on my brows, where some of you might just use like brow gel or something like that, and it's super quick. So my brows are done. So these are kind of the products that I would take with me if I was going on vacation and needed to pick something very light to do a really fast getting ready face. So I always like to start with a primer. This is my BECCA First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. I just really like it. I feel like it just really brightens up my face. Take a pretty generous amount of my primer. And because my skin is feeling so dry, I am going into my Versali Essence. This sort of just helps like hydrate my face even further. I'm just going to add a couple drops onto my hand, mixing it in with the primer. I'm going to mix my hands together, and I'm going to put this on my face. And this is just going to create a really nice base, and it's also going to help my foundation and concealer from like drying up into any areas that I've recently had pimples on. Yeah. Ow. As you can see, it just gives like such a nice glow to your face. It's always nice when you see like a really like glowy, almost oily looking face before the makeup goes on. It just means it's going to go on so much more dewy and fresh looking. As you know, I am mixing my two favorites. This is the Marc Jacobs Shameless Youthful Look Longwear Foundation in Light Y210, and this is my La Mer Foundation in Buff 23A. I got a new one of the La Mer. Just going to take this onto the back of my hand. Couple pumps of each. My Marc Jacobs is much lighter than my La Mer, and I'm just going to place this on my face. Just sort of putting it, spreading it out, and then I still have whatever left over on my hand. I'm going to dip my brush into it. I'm just using my Real Techniques foundation brush, picking up a little bit more of that product, and then I'm going to start just to blend this in. And both these foundations are super buildable, but they're also super easy to thin out. And I just find that applying it with a brush, I can thin it out more than I can with a beauty blender. So for every day when I don't want heavy foundation, I like using a brush. It's also a lot faster of an application, I find. So I bought another La Mer color. I wanted something that was a little less pink based and that had more of a yellow undertone, because when I get my spray tans, I tend to be not orange, but definitely more on the warmer side. So I wanted something that I could wear with my spray tans to all my nice events, as it's like my nicest foundation. It's kind of fun to use really nice products for special things because I don't have them that often. Making sure I take this down my neck, and as you can see, it like started looking a lot darker for me, and now it matches. So if there's any areas that you want a little bit more coverage, you can dip your brush back in and then just add in those specific areas. But honestly, in this routine, foundation isn't necessary. I'm just used to wearing it, but it is not necessary like at all. So I am now going to go into my concealer. I'm taking the BECCA Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. My color has wiped off of here, but it is Just a really good lightweight concealer, and I just put this in places that I want to brighten, because you're not doing like a heavy contour or anything every day, but sometimes if this is too dark for me, which today I think it will be, I'm going to add in a bit of my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in Light Sand, and I basically just do a very light dot on those points of my face into the brush. So like I said, this is a super easy routine. It really does not take me more than, I timed it the other day, I think it took me 6 minutes and like 38 seconds. It's like trying to use like as many, like as the least amount of products as possible. I know it seems like a lot because I mix things, but if you have your one foundation that's like a good lightweight foundation and your one concealer that's a good lightweight concealer, then you don't need to be mixing things. Like, keep it as simple as possible. These are just my things. My eyelid. And then just to finish blending in the rest of my concealer, I like to just tap it in with my hands wherever the brush doesn't get. It also just like creates a really nice finish on your skin when you do it with your finger. So once that is done, I like to take a big fluffy brush. I am going to go into my La Mer pressed powder. This is in translucent. I'm just going to pick some up onto my brush, tap it off, and I'm just going to press this onto the entire surface of my face. I just really like how this leaves like a really soft, light finish on my face. There's like really no pigment to it. It's really nice. Ow, why do I keep hitting my fucking elbow? And then to set my eye even further, I'm going into, you're gonna laugh because I've really hit pan. This is a stretch to get some in here. And I like to take up a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Powder in shade 1. And I'm going to tap this underneath my eyes just to set that concealer even further, because the last thing I want when I'm running around all day is creasy under eyes. And if I'm hiding any blemishes, I'll just sort of cover them with that just to give it a little bit of extra coverage. And like, that's it. For cream products, I'm done. As you can see, that's like pretty easy. Anyone can do this. Next step is going to be to contour. I am going into my FILMSTAR Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm picking up the bronze shade on my Kat Von D Shade and Light brush, tapping that off, and I'm just going to start to build this into the hollows of my cheek, but also keeping it almost like onto my cheekbone, just like really using it to warm up my face. So it's more of a bronzer and less of a contour, but I'm not putting it just like all over my face. I feel like that's like the makeup faux pas, is like taking a bronzer brush and just loading it all over your face. I've grown up watching my friends do it for a while. I thought it would be cool to do it. But it is nice to use your bronzer to also add some definition to your face, not just to kind of give you a fake tan. Even smile and like hit the apples of your cheek. Going around the perimeter of my face, under the tip of my nose, along the jawline, and this will just like help make sure that your foundation is nicely blended into your neck, because that is another problem that I tend to see in people's everyday makeup, is that there's like a clear gap between their neck and their chin. Sometimes if I'm really feeling it and I have that extra 30 seconds, I'll just take the edge of the brush with the Charlotte Tilbury and sort of just give my nose that like extra bit of contour. My face is warmed up a bit. I'm going to go into this bronze booster. It's by Physicians Formula. It's a very sparkly bronzer. It's really similar to like a MAC Global Glow. Going in on another big fluffy brush, dipping my brush just sort of in the whole thing. And then this is the part that I do the faux pas. I basically just dust this all over my face. The bronzer doesn't have a lot of pigment, but it has this like beautiful sparkle in it, and it just gives your skin such a nice glow. I like to look like, you know, luminous and radiant and like I just, you know, strolled out of the house. Also, I will add this to my neck as well. And now I'm bronzed. So the next step is my favorite step. It's to highlight. I am going back into my FILMSTAR Bronze and Glow into the highlight shade onto the Face Sculpt Charlotte Tilbury brush. Do above my brow at the arch and below my brow at the arch. And then I basically start connecting it into my cheekbone. Of my nose. And a little on my chin. And Cupid's bow. The only other place that I will add it, and it's with my finger, is just to the inner part of my eye. And that'll just sort of wake up my eyes. I'm going into my Morphe 9N palette. This is my go-to brush palette. I am picking up my blush brush, and I'm just going to go into this first shade right here. Tap it off. I'm just going to smile and swoosh this onto the apples of my cheek and upwards. Just love how like blush really brightens up my face. Sometimes I'll even take it a bit above my nose and down. Just to give me that like extra flushed look on my nose, keeping it more natural and fresh and just, again, like you strolled out of the house. My eyes are probably the most simple part of this entire look, believe it or not. And I'm just going into this NARS palette. It is called Nepal. I take it onto my middle finger. Please excuse my middle finger. And I am just going to press this onto the entire lid. And it's just a really soft pinkish shade, but kind of like bronzy at the same time in a weird way. And it's not matte. It's like has a bit of a satin finish to it, but like a bit of a sparkle finish. I can't even explain it. So beautiful. Such a good everyday color because it's almost like nothing's there. And if you want, you can always do a little bit of the bronzer in your crease. I'm just keeping it extra simple. And on a Morphe pencil brush, I'm just picking up some more of that color, and I'm just going to very lightly dust this underneath my lash line. Done. Like, so fast. I like to spray my face before I do my mascara. I find that every time I'm in a rush and I do my mascara and spray my face, somehow I like look down, and no matter how well I clean my lashes with my mascara, it gets on my face and then it takes me longer. So I spray my face. A generous amount, like this is to last you all day. I'll spray my face, I'll leave, go get dressed, like put on all my clothes, whatever, come back and then do my mascara right before I head out the door. Now I just wait because I am dressed. So my face is basically dry. I'm going into my L'Oreal Telescopic. Use a mascara you are comfortable with, guys. If you are in a time crunch and rushing out the door, using a new kind of mascara or a new wand is not a good idea. I'm speaking from lots of experience. So I'm kind of keeping the mascara almost like more concentrated at the root of my lashes. So it kind of like looks like a bit more natural. Coat on the bottom lashes. Do a nice little wipe. I'm going into my KKW brightening powder in shade 1 on my same powder brush, and I'm just going to tap this right in the hollow of my eye just to really wake up that area. And that is it. Sometimes I'll throw on a little lipstick. This is a Rimmel London Kate Moss lipstick in shade 42. Just a really pretty nude. And this color is always in my purse. I had to go get it from my purse to film this. I don't line my lips or anything. Just a nice light coat of any like good go-to lipsticks. So yeah, this is it. That's it. Super, super easy, literally under 7 minutes. Everyone has 7 minutes in the morning. Like, get up 7 minutes earlier. I promise it really does change your day. I think how you feel is a huge part of your day. I know, like, every time I go to a nice event and I'm dressed up and I'm feeling good, it really does impact my night. So try it for every day, see how you feel. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a little bit from this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much.